Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are going to be picking off where we left off, and I think I went in the right room because a lot of ding-ling-lings happening. Ah, what's the sound? Oh, seems like there's an alarm going off on this boat. It's not a good sign. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter mile 4. Full stop, hard to starboard, all hands brace for impact. Excuse me? Are we getting rammed at? What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Sato-san, hold on to me. Ah! Oh, okay. I think that explains why the ship. Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruto-san. That explains why the bookshelf fell over. Did that mean it happened last night? Maybe that's why everybody hit their head? It looks like we avoided a collision. I think... Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness. What about you, Naruto-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosonaga? Is that you in there, Naruto-san? Unbolt the door quickly. What? The bolt? Look at that. The door's bolted. Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And... Look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. Naruto-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? Oh, well, that explains why how Kazuma's door shut. So the same thing happened last night. I better tidy this place up first. A violent emergency stop has solved one mystery at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Ooh, to be continued. I wonder when we're going to start doing like a quote-unquote trial. It's kind of weird. Unless we're going to have a trial on the ship. That'll be quite interesting. Alright, let's save here. Gotta make 2 saves. In case I lose one by accident. See, 9th January, SS Bureau, Miss Pavlova's cabin. Exactly where we left off. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we had an emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid the bolt. You, what are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine. Thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made the emergency stop. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming, crews are running everywhere. This first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm. Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder, dressed all in black. You are the devil. Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is the first. You opened my traveling case. How could you? What? No. We didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector. Yes? Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. It is not enough that he has killed a man. Duh, and he is a stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal the chicken, do you believe? Take him away. He is a trespasser as well as everything else. Oh my gosh, why are we just getting blamed for everything? Stowaway, yes. Trespassing, maybe. Killing, no. She's right, you are the devil. It doesn't look good, does it? There's a cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to the police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga. Is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Okay, I guess it's time to examine. I just need to calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigating. Don't touch my things. You want me to show you where crawfish hibernates? Hiya! I'm knocked out. Mr. Naruto, what do you think you're doing here? Wow, everyone's attacking me, and I was starting to think she was my friend. Is there anyone who can help me out of this mess? I mean, he's really the only person I could ask. You've got yourself into a difficult situation here. By entering this cabin uninvited, I mean. Sorry, I was just deep to find a clue. I'm afraid there's really nothing more I can do to help you. If I push my luck any further, a punch to the face will be the least of my worries. I'm really sorry. I have to take responsibility for giving you the freedom to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. Now this has happened. I'll have to report to the captain at once. I really need some help here. I need a savior to rescue me from this crisis. Is there someone in this? Oh my god! You're just slashed on the wall. What are you doing here? What the? What are you doing up there? He's also wearing the tiara. Mr. Sholmes! Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no, no. Well, why were you hanging from the hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall so full of brag at once. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. You again, the great detective. Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for someone somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is to report? Speak! An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes. The case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Ryunosuke, has been solved by me, naturally. What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanation exists. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detectives greatly oh my gosh, lots of greats. I could not read that. You have solved it. Even a hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing Student Boy this morning. We found the criminal in wardrobe, and it was a stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim, because as everyone knows, the cabin was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Locked room. That is point. The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the ball could have drawn across from outside the cabin. You're all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there's another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open mouth at you even as we speak. The ventilator, man! The ventilator? You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening. That's impossible. Ah, but that it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in act of passing through the ventilator. So, she saw it? Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Don't tell me an animal killed Kazuma. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is a speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Oh, the music's kicking up. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Yeah! Oh, what the? What's going on? There's a snake? Is her pet a snake? Oh my... What? The snake attacks Kazuma? Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The speckled band. Where have you been? A snake? Indubitably. Everyone is in complete shock over this. And how is he not reacting? Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Wait, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Hmm? Yes, you're right. I think this case you'd have called it the striped band, wouldn't you? Maybe it isn't the snake. You both see and observe with distinction, however. Do you not think that this is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It is? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thoughts. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from facts. Number one, last night your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No. She's turned white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi. Sorry, we can't understand you. It looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh, here we go again. The game is afoot. Alright, let's see what's up. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet, you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She's grasping her hand, so it's maybe her hand that's in pain. It is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded the vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet the fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit the description in any way. What explanation can we give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This had nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now hidden behind your back. What is that? Yes, this which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake's slow skin. Evidently, after the subtle and horrid crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake whose markings can change each time it slows its skin. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Okay, I don't know if he is right about where it's from, but he might be on the right track. How Mr. Asogi died. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. Ah. Okay, that was very weak. Ah, I just said. In fact, the circumstance of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. I mean, didn't you say there were no poison? Now, if we take that as facts, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. I mean, there's still a lot of gaps in this reasoning. The almost but not quite imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestige of the snake's bite delivered by your terrifying friend. That makes no sense. There's no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now, your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your friend moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restlessly inside, no doubt. You don't. It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before this end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? Indeed. You'd put the serpent through the ventilator and wait after a period you summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for a sign of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you release the snake once more. Do you deny this snake has undergone such training? It's not true. I don't know, a lot of this is a stretch. Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink his fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins and end his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There could be no doubt my logic is infallible. Man, that was a lot of talking from him. Okay, time to make some corrections. Let's see if we can make some corrections to it. This concludes Ryunosuke's Great Deduction of the Speckled Band. Ooh, yay, congrats. That was really a mouthful of everything. I love how that snake is just chilling. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor, you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key training any creature. I don't think snakes drink milk. And incredible! You solved the mystery. Amazing! Your Great Deduction really lives up to its name. I see now why Ryunosuke has become such a household name. My dear man, it was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just about your deduction before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method, and will answer them. Blah blah blah. Oh well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Yeah, exactly. I don't feed my lizard milk. Or any of my tortoises, or my turtle. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see? So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treats to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling. I think my blue tongue snake has ears. He has holes in the back of his head. Madam, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of snakes that dance to the sound of a flute? It's more like the feeling of the vibrations, right? I think perhaps the performers play the music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears. Those creatures are so inept as to be practically useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There's one other thing. You have more? Snakes use their scales on the bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that the snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in the cabins. Then it should try harder. Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have been a part of this. Is there really snakes that shed and change their patterns? That sounds pretty cool. I've never heard of that. And everyone is kind of baffled. I think we need to step in and help again, Naruto. Oh no, you don't mean. Yes, we need to modify Mr. Shom's latest deduction and turn them into the great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruto. Yes? Right! So cast your eyes down to your wrist again. What? Oh, good. Good, they're gone. You've done it again. Your handcuffs are gone. Where did they go? Fear not. I shall see them restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Alright, time for the correction part. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. So, Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. There's nothing with me at all, blah, blah, blah. Yet, you cannot deceive yourself. Kind of just skimming through this fast, we already know. Yet, you recall those horrid events, your aching heart. Well, it looks like her aching wrist or something. She does have a pain expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks like as though Kazuma's death is weighing on her heavy mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly. Is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then? Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova. Wow, she's really just gonna let us look at it. Oh, there it is. There's a little scratch on her. How did it get scratched? I mean, oh, okay, it's definitely not the snake. We have no idea where the snake came from. You clearly have some sort of mammal. You have a cat? Oh, Naruto-san, look. That looks like a painful wound. It looks like a scratch by some kind of small animal. And fairly recently, too. Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here. Well, let's present that. Yes! Because that's what's harmed her. Something scratched her. It's definitely not a snake. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, the claw scratch smarts with pain. Smarts with pain? What? Indeed, and the simple observation reveals the wound is fresh. You mean it happened recently? Like, that means it couldn't have happened last night. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch? Something last night? I don't know, that looks a lot more fresh than last night. When I think about it, the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I'm sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So as we ask, what was the nature of the intruder that stole the victim's cabin on that blah blah blah? Oh gosh. Perpetuous night. Why naturally, it was a friend with which you board the vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspect, another tail glance. Without a doubt, your friend is the withering serpent we see before us. Seems like that scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except the snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet, which claws might grow. Well then, if that snake isn't the pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruto-san. That's where we'll find the answer. Alright, guys. I think this is where we're going to stop this part here. I'm almost hitting that 30-minute mark. So, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you guys want to find out who the pet is, come check back again. So, until then, thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you all later. Goodbye.